Hey guys, so we're back. Faith Talks podcast. It's been a minute, and I know that I told you all we would have been back on the 4th of April. I was, but guess what? We have the book launch coming up from Pit to Pulpit book launch, and the book launch is taking all of the time, the energy, and everything. But we're not gonna put Faith Talks podcast on the back burner, right? We're gonna do what we have to do because Faith Talks podcast is about having real, raw, undiluted conversations that we may not talk about every day in the church, but it's conversations that matter to us as believers growing and becoming who God desires for us to be, right? So this is the first episode of season 2. I just want to say thank you all so much for still being here. For those of you who are new, welcome to Faith Talks podcast. Continue to watch, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Instagram for all the updates, right? We love having you here. So today we're gonna talk about a topic that is I anticipated this topic so much because I feel like there's a lot of us that need a lot of wisdom and insight on this topic, and it's called dating to marry. And I'm not here alone today. I have two people that I absolutely admire, and I thank God for them, and I thank God for where He have them and what He's doing in their life, right? So without further ado, I'm going to introduce our guest today. All right, so we have Teacher Lennon Lakaivi. Yes, Teacher Lennon.
Thank you. We are very much happy to be here.
Yes, and I'm happy to have you all here too. So we also have his beautiful wife, Prophetess Makisa Lakaivi. Yeah.
Hi. I'm happy to be here.
Yes. When Teacher Lennon called me and told me that they're able to make it on this day, I had another engagement. I have another engagement today, right? I was like, here's what's going on. Even if I have to reach 10 minutes late or half an hour late for the other engagement, we're doing this today, right? Because these two people are not very easy to get in this space, right? But, I really bless the Lord that they're here today. So let me just tell you a little bit about them from my perspective, right? Now, Teacher Lennon, for me, is a man of wisdom, a humble servant of God, right? Somebody that when he starts to talk, take out your pen and take out your paper. Start to write one time, right? Because you show wisdom coming one time. And I bless the Lord for that. Prophetess Makisa, I believe in my heart, in my spirit, this is a gentle giant, right? Listen. She's very graceful. I admire your gracefulness so much, how graceful you are. I remember there were times when I would have called and there were things that I would have said. Maybe I was going through something at the time. And you speak so graceful, but yet still it's so much to absorb, even in your worship, in your ministering, everything that you do it with grace. But in spite of your graceful and you're gentle, yet still there is this level of fire and this level of power that is there. Like, it's almost like there's no room for the enemy to even pass. So she may look very gentle, but don't get tired, right? Yeah. So, guys, I'm so happy to have you all here. Yeah. Our topic today is dating to marry. So tell us a little bit about what was dating like for you all.
Dating.
Yeah.
Dating was interesting. It had its ups and its downs.
Yeah.
Why it was unique though is Makisa moved around a lot because of school, right? So I believe at one point she was at Long Circular, Twin City, Port of Spain. Anywhere else? St. Augustine.
You were studying at the time?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? And at that point in time, I didn't have a vehicle.
Oh my gosh.
So, I mean...
And then he's coming from Faisabad. No, not Faisabad. Or
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Right? So it's like, Lord, and then, working from a little penny.
Right.
Right? And it was a difficult time.
Yeah.
It was a testing time. But I think that even helped us in the relationship because it showed my intention.
Yes.
It showed that I was willing to endure, to go through hardships, because especially, I would go up, meet her, we would go online, eat, laugh, all these different things. And then after trotted back down the road.
Yeah.
And sometimes I reach in south and no vehicle, no car, 2 hours after I left her, I still only stand 2 hours and a half. I ain't reached home yet.
I did not know all this was happening.
Okay, right. Yeah.
So we have a lot of stories, a lot of things happen, but it was very interesting. I think it helped me personally grow a lot.
Yeah.
It was part of the transition for me from being a boy into a man, because we have to acknowledge that that is what needs to happen, because boys are not married material.
Yeah.
Right? So I think that is more or less some of the things that would have happened. Pray together. A lot of laughing. People don't know, I have a more serious demeanor.
Yes, he does. I remember the first time I met you, right? I was like, no, he real serious, boy. Like, laugh or don't laugh. What to do?
I am very serious.
Yeah.
But I love to laugh.
Yeah.
I could make a room laugh, so different sides, different layers, I would say.
Yeah.
But for me, it was a healthy relationship.
And that's what I admire, because I feel like, okay, though I know every relationship and even dating, you would have had a little ups and downs or whatever, but I feel like I could see the fruits of that in your marriage now, the healthiness. So much relationships now, because everybody wants to get married, right? To be honest, I feel like probably not everybody, but most people want to get married, and there's a lot of people that are in the process of dating right now, and they just, it's almost like you're just moving around. I don't know if it's this one and if it's that one, Where's the intentionality about it? Because as you say, you were intentional. You had to be intentional to be waiting so long for taxis and thing and moving from here to there, But there was some level of intentionality. And I think that we are in an era, in a time where people aren't so intentional anymore. It's either sometimes we give up prematurely, it's like you meet somebody and it's like, nah, boy, she living too far, I can't make that, or he living too far. But there had to be some level of intentionality. So I admire that as well. And you can see the fruits of that even springing into your marriage. Though it was dating, in the dating period, it has springed over into the marriage, because there are a certain level of endurance you would have built there,
Correct.
So yeah. And for Prophetess, for you, what it was like, the dating process, what was that like for you?
I think it was a little easier on my end,
right?
Because I didn't have to,
Clearly.
But what it made me see his intentionality.
Yes.
Right? Because I believe that value is a major thing when it comes to relationships.
Yeah.
And a lot of people get into relationships not understanding how to measure that level of value.
Yeah.
And therefore, when they get into it and they realize that they are not being treated the way that they are supposed to be treated, then they are, I don't know, upset with the person, but you are supposed to see, is this person going to value me?
Yeah.
And I believe that within that period, I saw how he valued me.
Yes.
Right? So it was a bit easier for me in terms of him coming and
you smile like, I know.
Yes, but I enjoyed it. It was a beautiful time in terms of learning one another.
Yeah.
In the midst of that, my mom had passed away as well.
Wow.
So how he treated me in that period was a major thing for me as well. Right? So yeah.
Yeah. And how long y'all dated for?
About 5 years.
Right.
When we met, I was 19.
Y'all met so young?
Yes, we did.
I didn't know y'all were together. What? Okay.
So we've been married for 11 years, but we were together for 5 years before.
Okay. Okay.
And so I was 19 going on 20.
Okay.
22. I believe. Yeah.
Okay. Understood. One of the things that you said, Prophetess, is that you were able to identify the fact that he valued you. And I feel like in dating, right, we have to look, there are certain things you look out for in the process of dating, rather than rushing into it, because we have plenty young persons getting married now, right? Whereas long time, I feel like people used to wait a long time. Like marriage was this thing where you get married, you have to be in your 30s or over, because even now when you see a 22-year-old get married or a 24-year-old get married, people you get married real young, that kind of way, because that's not the customary thing, that's not the norm, right? But there are key things that we look for in dating, right? Now, a lot of people skip in the dating process, so we just going into it. Some people might even say that's not biblical. I've heard it before, right? That's not biblical. Like, why you need to date somebody? And Teacher Lennon, could you just give us a little insight on that, like in terms of being biblical, the dating part of it? Like, what do you think that is biblical? Is it biblical? What is it?
Well, at the end of the day, I think that even when we look at the relationship that we have with God,
Yes,
there's different levels of intimacy.
yeah,
And that comes with spending time.
that's right.
And we have to understand is the same thing in our relationship with someone else.
Yeah,
We have to spend time. We have to get to know the person.
yeah.
Because this is someone that you have to become one with. This is someone that you have to go through the tough times with. You have to war with. You need to know who is next to you. You need to know who is standing next to you. And you have to be able to trust them.
Yeah.
Right? And I think sometimes we take it for granted. And one of the reasons we take it for granted is because, to me, we think about love, more than purpose.
Yeah.
And I believe that without purpose for the marriage, that is why we also see a lot of separation.
Yes.
Because it's like we don't know what it's worth, what the value is, what we are accomplishing for God, not understanding that we are leaving things undone, not understanding that we were married with a purpose to bring God the seed to build and establish and all of these different things. So I think we have to understand we must lay a foundation.
Yeah.
And that is what that period is. It's laying a foundation to build for stability, to endure the storms and the winds and the voices and all that marriages go through.
Yeah.
So therefore, if you skip the foundation,
Pressure.
what are you left with?
That's right. So true.
Yeah,
agreed. And I like how you said it. So I tell you all, get your pen on your paper, wisdom, right? The fact that you said, we have different level of intimacy with God, right? It starts even when it's like you start like a baby, right? So you start creeping, you start walking, then you start running, and that signifies growth in relationship. And it's just like with marriage, you don't just run and get into it, because then if you do that, sometimes there are some people that come with baggages. There are some people that comes with a lot of things, probably from childhood. It may not be from a previous relationship. It could be from parents. It could be from, and these are things that in the dating process, I feel like we get to see. You get a glimpse of it. You get an insight, because okay, a person may come and in the first 2 weeks they might see the best version of them, or they might be being a real good version or whatever. But eventually it starts cracking, it starts cracking, it starts breaking. You can't really keep up with that for too long, right? So the more that it's like, okay, how you would know a person when they don't have money, because I might have money today, I might be a good person or whatever, but then tomorrow I don't have no money, my personality might be different. Can you deal with that? You understand? And the fact that you said it's so important to build a sturdy foundation, and dating is that period where we get to build a proper foundation. Now, what are some reasons that you think people are rushing into marriage and not and skipping the dating period?
There's a pressure that society puts on us.
Yeah.
We talk about the clock
that
is always ticking.
Yeah.
But once again, I think that sometimes we forget that God is a God that speaks.
Yeah.
And we don't wait to hear. We always run off. It's something we do even in prayer.
Yeah.
We would pray and not await an answer.
Yeah.
So we have to trust God and trust that, listen, if this is what He desires for me, all I have to do is stay in alignment, pursue purpose, keep my eyes on Him, and I will encounter that person, and that person will encounter me.
Yeah.
And what He desires to come forth will come forth. So one thing that I would have done is I was never easily swayed or manipulated, or by peer pressure and these different things, right? I knew what I wanted. So I was willing to wait for what I wanted, because I didn't want, I wanted a true, authentic relationship.
Yeah.
I wasn't willing to take a downgrade.
Yeah.
Right? And I think we have to understand, when we understand that marriage is still dead doors part, and I think many people don't marry with the intent of
That do us part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you know that you're going in with the intention of, I want
come
this
out
to
of it.
last,
Yeah.
then you understand you have to wait. You have to establish, you have to build, you have to mature.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
And that is where the courtship comes in as well. So it comes back in regards to building a foundation. But what we have to understand is, as an individual, you need stability.
Yes.
And then when two comes together, then you have a greater stability there.
Yeah.
And that is how you go forward then and build.
Yeah.
When two people come together, it's not just to enjoy each other company.
Yes.
All of that is
Yeah.
included. Enjoy what God has,
Mhm.
given to us. But we are coming together to build and establish
Yes.
for purpose.
Yes.
You understand? And at the end of it, I want, when I go and I meet my maker, I want to hear well done.
Yes.
And what some people even forget is that they may focus on quote unquote ministry, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah.
But not understanding that a big part of ministry is a marriage.
Yes.
Ministry begins at home.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So why people rush, as I said, is a pressure. There's a timer.
Yeah.
They want to enjoy certain things.
Yes, that come with marriage.
That comes with marriage. Not understanding what comes alongside those good things. But it's love. Love is lovely.
Yeah.
It's good to have companionship, a partner, all these different things. So I understand, someone wanting to get into it, but you have to get into it with the mindset of, I want it to last.
Yeah.
So invest the time before you do so.
Yes, invest the time. And that's so important. Time. Because it's like, according to society, have us on this, this time span. Like, okay, in your 20s, you have to accomplish this. In your early 30s, you have to accomplish this. You have to accomplish that. So now, when it's not happening, some people even start, their faith in God begins to die down as well, because it's just like, God, when my turn coming, or when it's going to happen for me. Some people settle for a lesser version of, what God have in store for them, because of the fact that the time running out, because there are people who now in marriages where, oh Lord, this is not my partner. This can't be it, right? Because of the fact that we would have chosen to just settle for not what God really has in store for us, right?
I just want to add one thing there, because sometimes we focus so much on the partner.
Yeah.
A young lady may be looking for Boaz.
Yeah.
But are you Ruth?
That's right. Come on.
Right?
Come on.
So we have to make sure that because we don't want our spouse sitting thinking the same thing.
Yes,
this is really my partner. So we have to look at it from two sides.
I agree. Because sometimes that's such a picture of your partner looking at you and saying, wait, boy, this is what I end up with, a counterfeit version. Exactly. And that's why our internal work also. Let's just talk about the preparation of you first before partnership, right? So, Prophetess, like, for women, there's a lot of women who would have also put themselves on a time span and say, well, okay, this is what I need to accomplish at this time or whatever. But as a woman, let's just say there are women who are looking on that are preparing themselves to eventually date, right? What do you think they should be doing in this process of preparing themselves to start dating?
Okay, so I think that it's important to know that you cannot come into a relationship completely broken.
Yeah.
Right? Because when you come in broken, you begin to bleed on everything that is taking place around you.
Yeah.
You begin to bleed on your spouse and all those things.
Yeah.
You begin to bleed on your children.
Yeah.
Right? So you have to focus on making yourself whole. How do you make yourself whole? You can only make yourself whole in the one that has created you. He is the one that knows you from when you were born. He knows what you are supposed to be like. He knows everything that is taking place within your life that needs healing.
Yeah.
And therefore, when you decide now that yes, you want to be in a relationship, but you need to make sure that you are in a position where you are uplifting the person rather than breaking down the person that you're with. You will pay closer attention to your relationship with God. And within those intimate moments, you will learn how to love your spouse.
Yes.
Within those intimate moments, you will learn how to treat and value your spouse. So it all begins with you and how you go into functioning in that relationship with God.
Yeah.
So that is the first and foremost foundation. And once you are in that place and you are receiving what God is giving unto you, and therefore you will begin to walk in purpose. You will begin to walk in a level of anointing, a level of power on your own before you enter into that relationship.
Yes. Yeah.
And then when you enter into that relationship and the man also enters into that relationship whole as well, then you are able to build greater.
Yes. Yeah. I like that because most times we hear, okay, enter into a marriage and half make a whole, right? But how about you whole and I'm whole?
Exactly.
Then we could pour into each other's cup, because one of my things was that in my earlier years, what I recognized in myself, and now I'm kind of recognizing that, is going into relationships looking for love, right? Not wanting to really give love, you're going looking for love. You understand? Because for me, there was a gap. My dad passed when I was 9 years old. So there was this gap where it's just like you're looking for that masculine love, right? So you went with that perception, but it's really working it out in here first and accepting and receiving the love of God. There are so many, and I don't want to limit it to just women, but even men that don't have good relationships sometimes with either their father or their mother, and then you go into a relationship kind of looking for that. You go looking for a certain level of love from your spouse, and if you can't get that, then you start to probably you're acting out because you're not getting what you want from it, right? But when we do, according to you, the individual work first, where it is that we work on us and our walk with God. That's it. We working out our relationship with God, our intimacy with God. When you and this person come together, not that it won't have problems or not that it won't have issues, but it'll be totally different because now you understand your purpose. You understand who you are as an individual, because that's important, knowing who you are, right? And then the both of you all come together, then this thing could work, right? But if we both come in with baggages, then there's problems. If we both come in with things from the past, things that would have held us back, then there'll be issues right there. And I think a lot of relationships, people who aren't even married yet, are struggling because it's just like, I love this person. Like, he nice or she nice. They have nice ways. They have good characteristics, all these different things. But it just not working. Like, no matter what, we not meeting. We just keep butting heads. It's not working, right? Sometimes I feel like we have to acknowledge that that's probably not for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what takes place most of the times is that people don't acknowledge that. And they enter into it. And when they enter into the marriage like that, and all sorts of things are taking place within the house, then you want to blame who? You can't blame anybody else but yourself, because God would have shown you that, hey, this person is not for you. This person is not healed. You also are not healed, and therefore things are taking place within the home that you feel like if you're out of control, you have no control over. So in that moment, we are supposed to see, okay, hey, let me take a step back and assess what God really wants for me.
And that's why, again, we go back to why it's important to date, right? Because that's a pivotal moment where you get to see that, get a glimpse into this is not for me. Not that any little sign you see or something, you just leave one time or whatever. But you've seen a series of things. You've seen cycles, patterns, right? You've seen all the red flags. Because listen, if you're like me, right, the old version of Natalia, red is green, right? You guys, no, that green, down red, right? So because some of us, we see the red flags, we see the signs, but it's just like, I don't want to be alone. I don't want to be alone. I don't want to have to deal with self. I don't want to have to sit in the presence of God and deal with certain things. And 3 months ago, the Lord would have led me to come off of social media completely, right? And in coming off of social media, I had to, social media can be so loud, Listen, social media is so loud that I don't even think sometimes we don't even recognize how loud this thing is, because I was there and I just doing all these things I accustomed doing, making videos, empowering, encouraging people, but not recognizing that I was just using that as a distraction. So I am doing something for God, but I'm distracting myself. I'm distracting myself from healing, because then if all that noise go away, I have to sit in those quiet moments with God, and I have to address the heart issues that I have, which would now prepare me to one day be somebody's wife and all. You understand? As much as it prepares me to be just a good individual, the woman God want me to be, it also prepares me to be someone's wife, right? And if you don't sit and do the hard work, then we end up in broken relationships and marriages. And that's how it's kind of trickling down into so many divorce. The divorce rate is just increasing. And before, it would have been divorcing just like in the world, I hear. But now in church as well, a lot of divorces happening, right? And that's because if we don't do the internal work, it's gonna spiral into the marriage. It may not be right away, but eventually it spirals into the marriage. And I just want to stress on the fact of how important dating really is, because the both of you all sit here today as a couple that has been married for how long? 11 years, right? And that 11 years would have had great moments. That 11 years would have had hard moments. That 11 years would have had challenging moments where you probably had to sit with yourself at times and be like, yes, I choose this man, and yes, I choose this woman, But in the fact that you have built a proper foundation, every time you go back to that foundation, you know that I am here because this is where I want to be, right? This foundation was not just built on Lennon and Makisa, but it was built on the fact that Christ is involved. Christ is at the center of this thing. And we would have put in the work over the time, right? So it is so important for us to really date, rather than just rushing into something and saying, well, I reached, this is what I want, So I really am grateful for, your marriage and what you all have built together, right? Now, in the process of dating, what would have been probably one of the most challenging things that you all had to deal with in process of dating? It's so easy, she just pass it over.
Most challenging part, that's a hard question to say the most challenging part.
And not probably. Let me rephrase that. What was some of the challenges you would have had, I should say?
Right. So one was financial. Right. I would say trying to invest in the relationship whilst trying to invest in yourself at the same time. Right? Because it's almost like it splits your focus. But at the same time, you still have to continue to progress. You have to continue to walk in purpose. You have to continue as a single person, because we have to remember, for me, that is how I look at it. I am single until I get married. So when I'm married, then I have a partner. So even while I am dating, I have to be growing and maturing and learning through the relationship, the difficulties, how to respond, understanding how to be more understanding, how to be more loving, to be more affectionate. So we fail to realize that dating is preparation. Right? And when we don't prepare for something, what happens? It falls apart. Right? So I would say the difficult thing as for me would have been personally trying to build myself, find myself, understand my identity, understand the purpose God calling me to, all of these things. Because if you have no vision, if I get to being married and I have no vision, sometimes we say we want support, but your wife needs something to support. So if you don't have a vision, there's nothing for her to support.
You need something to support.
So for me, there was a lot of thinking, planning, reflection. Even, I'm being honest, sometimes that 2 hours and a half, 3 hours on the taxi stand, I'm just thinking, Lord, like, continue, like, is this the one? And
Yeah.
so I think you have to continue to grow. I think that was the biggest thing for me.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we end up investing so much time, energy, and focus on that person that we forget ourselves, we neglect ourselves, and then they are not. It's like we rob them of who God wants for them.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
That's right. Yeah.
So for me, I think in a nutshell, that was the most difficult thing, to make sure I continue to progress and to grow and to find myself.
Yeah, and I understand that totally, because listen, right? As I always say, I love love, right? I really love. I'm not a fighter. Like, if you get in a fight with me, I'll tell you just no, I'm coming back, and it's the police are going for, right? Like, I telling you, I'm not a fighter, right? I'm a lover girl, but one of the things that I found hard in relationship, in being in a relationship, it would be juggling that, like, my purpose, and still focusing on my work and relationship with God, and also getting to know this person. Somehow I have always been in a predicament where one trumps the other, right? Where it's always either spending too much time with the person, too much time on the phone, and then it takes away from my time with God, my relationship with God, my work with God. And I think a lot of people, probably around my age, might be having that same challenge as well, where it is that you don't know how to balance the both, because really and truly God comes first in our life. Because if we continue to mature in our work with God, everything else will fall into place. Everything else begins to work together for our good, right? So being able to work out the two, Prophetess, what you would say is a good way to balance that, or create some level of balance there?
Good way to create balance with that. Okay. It's kind of difficult.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, it really is difficult, but you have
Yeah.
to find a way.
Yeah.
You basically just have to find a way.
Yeah.
Right? So, and that is why you have to know who you're dating as well.
Yeah.
Because he or she needs to know the importance of your time with God.
Yes.
So that they will understand the balance that needs to take place. Because the balance has to take place with them and with you.
Yes.
When it comes to balancing God, that's what you're asking.
Yes,
right?
yes,
Balancing
yes.
with God and then you.
Yeah.
Right? What you were talking about earlier, something that I was thinking about in terms of becoming selfless.
Yes.
In relationship, which is something that would have been difficult for me, right? Because at the time that we met, I was in university, so I had a vision on where I was going. So a path that I was going on.
Could I just ask what you studied in university?
Fashion design.
Okay.
That's what I studied,
okay.
right? Right? So I was on that path. My plan was to go to London.
Yeah.
And all those things.
Oh my.
Yeah, that was a story in itself.
Well, listen, he said that like it had a story attached to that, right? Yeah.
He found out in the midst of us dating, he found that.
Yeah.
So, but in the midst of that, I had to find balance as well. It's like, what exactly is God leading me to do?
Yeah.
Is God really leading me to go there? Or is God leading me to continue to pursue this relationship? Right? And so within that, I had to find balance. Yes. I had to find where God really wanted me to be. Right? So I am not neglecting myself and my desires and the vision, but I still have to I still had to sort of shift so that because I knew that this is the person that I want to spend the rest of my life with.
Yeah.
So therefore I have to shift certain things around so that we can both be on the same page.
Yeah.
Right? So it's difficult to find a balance, but you have to become selfless in the midst of that.
Yes.
So that you will know that you're on the right path.
Yeah. Totally understood. That's even having to deal with a decision like that, because your life going the way you want it and everything, and then this person comes along and so forth, and you know that this is the person you want to spend the rest of your life with. You know that boy, I want to wake up next to this person every single day, but then there are some things that you have to adjust, and becoming selfless Oh my
Very
God.
difficult.
Yes, that could be so challenging because it's like I have to take away from my time here. I might have to make a different decision here. Teacher Lennon probably had times when he had certain things planned to do with his money, but he coming to see you, but it's all that is a part of marriage too. If you really check it out, it's preparation for marriage. Because in when you get in there are moments when you have plans to do one thing, but then something in the marriage comes up where, all right, I have to do this instead. That kind of way. So it's really preparation for marriage. So all of this takes us back to the fact of it's important to date. It's important to get to know the person that you want to spend the rest of your life with and not rush into this thing called marriage.
I want to say one thing on dating, seeing that we speaking about dating.
Yeah.
Because I don't want people to have a misconception of dating, right?
Yeah.
Dating for me is to be able to date. First and foremost, you need to know what you're looking for.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It's not just to go out there and, all right, he cute, he smile at me. I like his beard, he's a beard man.
Yeah.
Whatever it might be, right? Right? And there are some people, what happens is they date so much that then comparison becomes an issue, and you cannot settle on one person. That even when the right person comes, well, he had a beard, he was chocolate, or she had this, she had long hair, and you can't settle because you date so many people.
Yes.
So you need to sit down and know, what am I looking for?
Yes.
And also you need to ask, what I am looking for, would they be looking at me as well?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
You need to be realistic,
that part
right?
is important. Yeah.
You need to be realistic. Because what dating is looking for a suitable spouse that will support you, help you to fulfill, because that is what it's about, to fulfill what God wants you to do.
Yeah.
And what we do many times is the intention is not marriage.
Yes.
People go out a lot, but not with the intention of marriage. Might be for favor, it might be for sex, it might be for might be a trauma response.
Yes.
You're just looking for to fill a void in your life. You're looking to have fun. You're looking to eat our food.
Yeah, and this could be so dangerous, teacher. Like, if we just put a pin in there, right? This could be so dangerous because imagine somebody taking you out, right? And you have this intention as a man or a woman, right? Your intention is, I want to get married. You understand? I'm dating with intentionality. And this person there, they said, I'm watching from the other side of the table, and it's just like, well, I just here to eat our food. You understand? I just here for this, I here for that. And that's so unfair. That's so unfair to know that, okay, you doing this with this particular thing in mind and I have something else in mind. And I don't want us to think that this is people in the world, I mean, this is Christian people sometimes. There are so many, there are Christian men and women that you see they increasing in age, right? They're dating this one, they're dating that one, but no, they're not settling down, and makes you want to ask, okay, what's going on? You understand? Like, what's happening? What are you dating with intentionality, or are you just dating because I like seeing multiple people?
Correct. Or you don't want to be alone.
Yes.
And or you want to be in with the crowd, or you want to go out with your other friends who in relationships.
That's right. You want to say, okay, well, I date her, I date this, and that's something that for me, I want to be so intentional in this season of my life that, I ask myself, Natalia, are you okay with being alone? Are you okay with going and watch a movie by yourself? Like, are you okay with that? I want to be so okay with that when someone comes along, I am happy I'll enjoy their company. That kind of way. So I don't feel like, okay, I can't enjoy my own company. So when you go out to that person, you just absorb and you're just on them because you don't really appreciate you as an individual, So that's something right there that I feel like is real important to pin intentionality.
Important.
Why dates like just dating around? You date many people, but rather it's just an excuse to do what you want to do.
Correct. So you could date yourself further away from the person that God has for you.
Yeah.
And one thing I just want to tell the men quickly in regards to dating, because I've seen it time and time again, right?
Yeah.
many men would date so many women, right? And then rob the woman that God have for them out of all the things that they provided for these so many people that they dated. So you spend so much money, you went there, you went here, you buy this, you did that together, and then when you actually find that woman that God have for you, you don't have the resources. She cannot enjoy the same luxuries. To me, that unfair.
It is unfair. It is.
That
I
unfair.
totally agree with that. Yeah,
You understand?
I totally agree with that.
So men, the dating thing, you have to understand. You have to be stable. You have to progress. You have to. When you are doing things, you have to think about do it with family in mind. You have to build a foundation. You have to be mature.
Yes, I
you know
agree.
So that's another thing in terms of dating with the wrong intention.
Because it's and no, you say that, I'm thinking about the fact that they have people who really doing this thing,
Right.
like you're asking this person in church, brother this or sister this, no, I dated, I dated, but years passing and you're just dating. Now it's gonna make me sit down and wonder what you really dating for. What is the intention behind your dating? So it's so important to know, your intentionality, why you're doing it, because sometimes we do something for so long that it becomes the norm. It's just like you stop even checking yourself, like, hey, you're just doing this thing, you're not really, what's your purpose behind it? Is it just sex you're looking for? Like, that's not the right thing to do. You have to think about the person on the other end as well. So intentionality, and that goes to both men and women.
Correct.
Correct. Men and women, because have some women
because you date, time pass, and then you're ready to rush. So know what you're looking for.
So say that again. Your date, time pass, and then you're ready to rush.
Because you were dating with the wrong intent. You don't know. You didn't even decide what am I looking for. Right. And all of these things determine where do I position myself? Where do I go? You go, and I'm not saying that you cannot find who God wants you to be with outside of church. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying if you know the type of person that you are looking for, you would know what type of places to ensure what type of rooms you need to be in. If you are looking for a man that is focused, who is ambitious, who is maybe even an entrepreneur, or a man of God, you know where to go. So know what you are looking for. Be intentional and use the time wisely.
Totally understood. Totally understand and agreed. I feel like that right there should set it off for a lot of people. Some of us need to sit down and ask ourselves intentional, because you really actually it has some of us going out there and we dating and we don't even know what we're looking for. We just, it's like, well, he asked me on a date, or she asked me on a date, and you have to be so in knowing what you want that somebody asking a date, no, and you don't have to say it in a bad way, but it's just like, no, because you know already upfront that is not what you want. Why are you going? You understand? That's not what you're looking for. Why are you going? It's just, it not become entertainment. It become entertainment. There's nothing, no substance in it, nothing behind it, so I honestly want a lot of people to take that period so important, just from experience and so forth, just to be mindful of what you're doing in your dating process. Don't rush. You don't need to rush. Like, I didn't even know you all dated for 5 years. Like,
that seems long.
I asking the Lord, like, Father God, how long you gonna make me date for, right? Like, when that, like in that time, and like, Lord, like, how long? Because just like 5 years, boy, but
it depends on your level of maturity.
We were pretty young. So and then as he had said, I was back and forth a lot, moving a lot, and then I was in Memphis. So it had so much that was going on during that period. So it may not be a whole 5 years for someone else, but it really depends on your maturity. It's the same thing when it comes to your relationship with God. There are some persons that grow closer to God in a shorter period of time.
Yes, that's so true.
So, and it's because they are more intentional as well.
Yeah.
And they're maturing faster because they're spending so much time in His Word and in that level of intimacy with God.
Yeah.
So it may not take a whole 5 years for someone else.
Yeah.
But in order for them to have a shorter period of time, there must be intentionality.
Yeah. Totally understand.
I was old school as well. I was old school, so I wanted to have a place to put my wife.
Okay.
As well. So rented a place, furnished it, all of these things before.
That's definitely, listen, that's old school for sure, long time, men, that's how it works. Even like when you look at Bible days, you just have to have a certain amount of things first before you just come and marry this woman or whatever the case might be. And I feel like there are still men out there who have that intention that I want to do this, but then there are some ways just like, okay, that's not really important, like I don't have to or whatever.
I wouldn't say it's a necessity, but you have to stay true to who you are.
Yeah.
Some men, God put that within them. So I just wanted to take care of my family, have a place for them. That is just a desire that I had. And I would say God granted it. I didn't do it. He provided me with the means to do so. Okay. So I did.
Totally understand. Prophetess Teacher Lennon, was your type? You have this thing where I say type, right? Like everybody have a type or what they're looking for. Was he your type?
People will say that.
Yeah. No. People will say that now.
Yeah. I mean, assessing, past.
Yeah.
People will see.
Right.
So, but when we first met and so forth, it wasn't even like that. It was like I had liked someone else. Like when we first met.
Really?
I
Right.
So in the midst of that. So
and how y'all met?
So it's a little unclear.
Yeah.
So we were discussing this, right? So he thinks that we met in San Fernando, where we had a group of friends, his group of friends, my group of friends.
Right.
But I believe that we met where I came by his friend, which was also my friend.
Right.
And we were going somewhere.
Right.
Yeah. So that is where I believe we met.
Right. Yeah. Right? And he have a different understanding.
Yeah. Because
I have to be real with it.
Right. Okay. Good.
Yeah. So we had a mutual friend.
Right.
So we basically met through
a mutual friend. So it was an instant click, or was it like a gradual?
No, it wasn't instant.
Sure.
Yeah. It became. I don't know. So at first when we met, I remember I said I was interested in
somebody else. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if he was interested
Teacher,
in anybody
she was
else.
not interested in you.
Right. But I think, soon after that, we clicked.
Yeah.
It was soon.
Yeah.
It wasn't like no like a long period of time or anything like that.
Yeah. So in terms of, like purpose, right? Because, you would know where you call to function, how you call to function, as the son of God, and as well as the daughter of God, where God called you to function, and supporting each other's purpose. Like how much do you value that in your marriage, in your relationship? Like what was that important, or is there something that even in the midst of dating that you need to consider?
Well, once again, in that foundation or preparation period, you have to see fruits.
Yeah.
Right? And therefore you have to see if what that person is saying is materializing.
Yes. Yeah.
What they are claiming that they are about to do, if they are progressively working towards it. I'm not even saying that you have to wait for it to fully materialize, but are they making progress? Are they disciplined? So I think for me, that is how it was for me.
Yeah.
And the support, I would say that growing up, I didn't really feel like I had that much support.
Right.
So it definitely was something that was important and I was seeking as a person, because if you are not building, then what are you doing?
That's
it's either
right.
you are building or you're destroying. You're pulling down one another. So you must be able to look back even whilst dating and see what you all have built so far.
Yes.
You have to be able to look back and see who you were before versus who you are now. You must see progress. You must see maturity. So that is the very purpose of two becoming one. It's to support one another.
Yes.
Right? Because the ultimate goal, and we have to understand, the head of every man is Christ.
Yes.
So he is leading us, and therefore we have to support each other to ensure that both of us, because we have, I would say, individual ministries.
Yeah.
Even though it's working towards the same goal. And then there are things that God has called us to do together.
Yes.
Right? So I think all of that needs to be understood. So all of that needs support. And I could acknowledge, everybody must acknowledge, that a lot of the things I've built or accomplished, I couldn't have done it without her support. And I know it would be the same for her. So without that support, there's not much building. So I think it's very
important.
It's imperative.
Imperative, indeed, that you have a partner that is able to support your vision, your purpose, because it's like, how about having two people together who want to go you want to go this direction, so now it's a pull apart, you understand? And that's why I always tell people it is possible to be unequally yoked in a Christianity. You understand? You could be with somebody, you're Christian, they're Christian, and you're unequally yoked, right? Because I know that is a big thing. Like, a lot of young people ask me that all the time. Like, is it possible to be unequally yoked even though he's going to church, I go to church? Like, yeah, it is. It is possible. One of the things I wanted to find out is boundaries, right? So in terms of how did you both handle physical boundaries while dating? Not just sexually, but okay, I want to respect this person's physical space as well. So whereas somebody might say, I'm coming to look for you, and you right now you know that you can't be around that person right now. Like, how do you tell them, well, no, you can't come without hurting their feelings, like that kind of way, Yeah, like how you handle that.
I think it's important to learn the person. So
Right.
you're dating, so you have to begin to learn the person.
Yeah.
You're trying to learn the person.
Yeah.
And if we're in the midst of trying to learn the person, you begin to know their likes and dislikes. You begin to know okay, like for example, my husband, he likes this all the time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He likes to have that, so I am able to give him that space.
Yes.
That is me as well, but I think him more than me, right? So I am able to, give him that space. And so in the midst of dating, you're supposed to begin to learn, right? The person, to know, okay, what are their likes and dislikes, because you're learning person, so you'll be able to set certain boundaries when it comes to that, and be able to respect the boundaries that the person gives.
Yes.
Right? If someone is not respecting the boundaries, then that's a red flag.
Yeah.
Because in the midst of marriage, they will
know.
not be able to respect the boundaries that you have within marriage.
Yeah.
We are still two individual persons coming together, right? So yes, we're coming together in a union to move with one another, but we need our separate spaces in order to develop.
Yeah.
So
yeah, totally understand. And when you all decided to get married, right? So you're wrapping up here. When you all decided to get married, did you get confirmation on your, as in, when I say, like, okay, let's just say whether leader, family, like, did it come with confirmation that, hey, yeah, this is what, I don't say this what, not this is what God wants, but this is a healthy thing, more or less. Did it come with that level of confirmation?
Okay, for me, I just knew.
Yes.
So I would have been in relationships before, and I know that wasn't it.
Yeah.
I knew there's a knowing.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So there was a knowing for me, and then in terms of outside confirmation, my mom.
Yeah. Okay.
That was a major. I saw how she loved him.
Yeah.
Right. I saw how they interacted.
Got you, teacher.
Right.
Yeah.
And she would have spoken to my sisters even about it.
Okay.
But I would have found out after the fact.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that was on my end.
On my end, I would say I just sat down a day and it was like I had to make a decision. Right? It was like, because how I made that decision to say, well, all right, this is the person I want to be with, is what I realized is that I couldn't see myself in the future without this person. It's like when I think about the future, I see this person, and I realize, and I mean, for me, confirmation happens throughout. Not just from people, but it's throughout.
Yes.
Like you would realize, hey, this might be the only person on the face of the earth who could, endure this or deal with me, or. So there were many confirmations and distinct differences with her that I realized, no, like I would be doing myself an injustice to not follow through on this. So for me, it was more of a sit down. I was kind of just led to sit down and reflect and was like, Lennon, you cannot do, without this person. And that's the point that I made that decision, and I knew that it was time. So sometimes we just make it feel like, an angel come and
yes,
and I mean,
and that's why I want us to talk about it, because it have some people, right? They're together right now, and that's why I'm asking, because it has some people together, and that this is the person. Like you could, within yourself, is like, teacher, like when you sat down and it's just this knowing that I feel like I can't go. I want this person in my future, right? Everything, things are. When you look back at the relationship, you see the growth in you, you see the growth in them, and you dare sit down waiting for an angel to drop from the sky and say, get married. Get married, because there are people in that predicament right now, and it's just like, well, I didn't get the confirmation yet, or I didn't get the confirmation yet, when all the confirmations are right there. You understand? So that's why I asked.
Confirmations.
Yes, confirmations. It's right. It's there for you to see, right? Not just one thing that you're holding on to from 5 years ago, where he tied your shoelace or something like that. Not that alone. I mean, like literally, when you look back, the relationship has made you a better person. You understand? It makes you want to even be a better person than you are. So when you have all these confirmations and you know that this is the person, then why not just make the right step and get married? Because it's the right thing. God love marriages. God love marriages. So guys, I just want to say a little thank you so much. In closing, I would ask Prophetess Makisa, do you have anything that you want to share with persons that are in the process of dating to get married, or people who are even probably planning their wedding right now, planning to get married? Like, do you have any advice that you may want to share with them?
Yeah. Okay. So for me, there are a few things that I want to make sure that people, while dating, what they assess, right? They need to assess the vision of the person, right? Assess the vision. Assess if you are willing to put that person's desires before yours at points. Right? So that is selflessness. Assess the family. Generational curses is real. Right? So you have to see if certain things are broken. You look at their parents, you look at their grandparents, you see what was trickling to make sure that it doesn't enter into yours. So the generational curses is something that you need to assess, right? So you need to look at that. And the last thing I would say, really and truly depend on God for every little thing. Right? I cannot say that enough. Right? Because He is the only one that can truly direct us to where we need to be. And therefore, I want to encourage each person to really lean into God, because He will guide you. He wouldn't just leave you there to try and figure out things on your own just like that. He will guide you. He will send someone to give you direction. If you feel like if you're not hearing from Him, He will guide your every step. So I just basically.
Thank you so much, teacher. You have anything to add to that? No, okay, good. Guys, I want to thank you all so much for being here, for saying yes to be here. You all come from very far. Yeah, very far. But I thank you so much. I think that whoever's viewing have a lot to hold on to from the podcast, as in some of them are dating right now and I know they're asking themselves like, wait, but that was a red flag, like I've seen red flags and I'm saying green, Some of them are like, hey, I have learned endurance in this thing. Some of them are, I want to build a proper foundation. And that's one of my major takeaway from today as well. Building a proper foundation. And in the midst of dating, that's where it starts. You understand? That foundation is start. And keeping God at the center of it. Knowing who you are as an individual. Knowing what you want. So what are you really looking for? Don't just be dating everybody, but be intentional about who you are dating. So thanks so much. But on behalf of Faith Talks Podcast, Teacher Lennon, thank you so much for being here. Yes. Prophetess Makisa, thank you so much for being here. Yes, I appreciate you all. Thank you for, just availing yourself. Because this is not just, we think sometimes ministry is just being on the pulpit, or ministry is holding a mic, but this is ministry, and I thank you so much. And I appreciate you all. Yeah, I pray that God continue to bless and keep your marriage always. Yeah, because I know, I could tell you all, I know that I'm not the only person that looks into a marriage and say, yes, that's a kingdom marriage, So continue to do what you're doing, praying, trusting God, reading your word, all these different things that makes your marriage stronger, continue to. Okay, guys, we've come to the end of another episode on Faith Talks podcast. I thank you all for tuning in. Look out for our other upcoming episodes, and remember, real, raw, undiluted faith conversations. Have a great day. Love you all. Be safe.